Welcome, everybody. Today is week one. This is the beginning of your interpersonal communication journey with me. I am your instructor, Allison Kanuha. It is a hard name. I get it. I married it. I wasn't born with it. Best way I can think to describe it to you guys is canoe, like the boat, and then laughing after ha. So Kanuha. Mrs. K works perfectly fine. Allison also works fine. So today, this video is just kind of giving you an introduction about who I am, what you can expect from the class, and what we're kind of going to go into for this week and the weeks going forward. So first things first, this is interpersonal communication. This is COM 120. My other college, it was a higher level, so I always get numbered, confused with the numbers. So let's talk about who I am for a second. My name is Allison Marie Kanuha. Allison Marie is my first name, but only my mom calls me that. I am born and raised Canadian. I'm from a city called Winnipeg, Manitoba. In the bottom right-hand corner of this slide, you will see I am pledging my loyalties to the Winnipeg Jets at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. I have a cat and a dog named Otis and Milo, respectively. So in the image above that, you'll see my husband holding our cat Otis and my dog Milo walking alongside us. Before coming to Cape Fear, I worked in local news for 3 years, working as a digital reporter and a digital content producer and a podcast host. I wore a lot of hats. So on the bottom, the right side, but the left of the Winnipeg photo, you'll see me working on the sidelines for the Myrtle Beach Bowl game 2 years ago. As a photographer. It's just something that's very it's always interested me. It is something I went to school for sports journalism, so anything to do with sports, I had my hand in when I worked at this TV station. I also have so I have my bachelor's and my master's from the University of North Dakota. It's where I lived when I first came to the United States. What else can I tell you? I do love to do granny hobbies, and this can include crocheting, reading. I do really love to read. I started my own book club, and napping. I do absolutely love to nap. I am a professional napper, some could say. And then my screen's a little bit. We'll remove this for a second. Beautiful. And then if you can't find me here in my office, you can find me on the beach, probably watching my husband surf while I sit safely on the shore with a book. Because I guess an unfun fact about me, I do not know how to swim. So these are some fun facts about who I am. But this is very surface level in comparison to the breakdown of who we are as a class that will come throughout the semester. So that being said, oops, this slide's not going. There we go. This semester, what can you expect? I want you to take a look at Canvas, where you can find your syllabus. In the syllabus, you'll also find my contact info, my office hours, brief assignment overviews, and for this class, there will be 4 major assignments. You'll have a chapter quiz each week, and there will be a final exam. All quizzes and the final are open book. The final is cumulative, which means that I will take content from the entire semester and put it into the final. The textbook for this class is required. And where is it? It is propping up my computer. So we're going to do this. There we go. So this is a textbook that you should have. If you have a digital version of it, that is fine. If the school bookstore tries to sell you a Connect version, so all-inclusive with inclusive access of online materials, like its own platform, that's not what you need. You just need the cheapest version, which is just the ebook of it if you're doing digital. But this is also perfectly fine, this version. All right, let me prop that back up on my computer. Beautiful. Okay, what else do we have here? Also, please, 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 and you shouldn't be able to bypass anything else until you do your enrollment verification quiz. That is due January 14th. Um, Doing it lets the university know that you are actually enrolled in my class. I learned this last semester. There are people who are bots taking classes, and I didn't know that. So this is kind of just a assistance for that. But I'm going to pull up your class on Canvas so I can give you a little peek. So here we go. This is your interpersonal Canvas board. This is the home page where you will see my introduction. This is right here, I'm highlighting now, is my contact information, my email address, and underneath it, you'll see your course modules, your syllabus, and your support. So if I hit your syllabus, beautiful. So here you'll see your syllabus. You will be part of one of these two sections in Canvas. I have combined all my online sections. So hopefully you are in IO3 or IO4, because that's me. And then this class is asynchronous online. So it's a pace yourself with exceptions. So obviously I have due dates, but you don't have to come to class a specific time every day. I will open modules on Monday. I say, stick with me here. I say I'll open them at 12, so like at midnight it opens. That is because I have tried to allow Canvas to utilize the autos function. Sometimes it doesn't work. So Monday by 9:30 when I get into my office, if it's not there, I will populate it up. But it should be open Monday. And then anything that I have a due date for is going to be due on the Sunday at the end of the week. So my weeks start on Monday. You can kind of see this this calendar right here. So today is the 5th. If I have something due this week, it'll be due on the 11th. And that's going to be how the weeks go from here on out. If you're ever curious about a due date, it's most likely the Sunday that the week ends on for that. Okay, office hours. So I split my time between two buildings, and that is here in the McLeod building where I currently am. This is my main office, and I'm here Wednesday and Friday. I'm also here Monday, but it's just for administrative stuff. But if you need to see me on Monday, absolutely. So here are my office hours: Wednesday from 2:30 to 3:30, Fridays from 12:30 to 1:30. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm actually at North Campus, which is over there in Castle Hayne. And I can be found there from 12:30 to 2 p.m. in my office, which is 234B in the NB building. Here at the McLeod building, I'm in S200J. Okay, so I'm not going to go through your entire syllabus. You can take a look at it, but I have already told you about the textbook. There's no prerequisites for this class. Here is the course content. All the assignments, anytime I give you something, will be due at midnight of that specific date, usually Sundays. Late assignments may be submitted for 3 days, up to 3 days after the due date. I will take off 10% from that final grade for that assignment per day that it is late. Quizzes, on the other hand, will not be reopened after the deadline unless prior arrangements have been made. So if something has happened and it's 10 p.m. because you procrastinated before the due date, and you shoot me an email and you let me know that something is wrong, I may not get back to you at 10 p.m., but the next day I am more willing to help you than if you come to me the day after and say I forgot to do it. That is one thing that I'm very firm on. I will not reopen a quiz after the due date. Reach out to me beforehand. Students will be given one redo assignment for the semester, and this is kind of why I'm really firm on the not reopening a quiz. You can redo a quiz or a discussion, as well as a major assignment as well. So it's open to anything. You get one redo. And then I will try to respond to emails within 48 hours, excluding the weekends. If you email me Friday afternoon, you probably won't hear from me until Monday. And then I will try to grade assignments within 7 days of I say submission, but it's more of 7 days from the submission date or the due date. Usually I like to get everybody's assignments in and then submit them. Going through our major assignments, we will talk about discussion boards each week, and this is how we make an online class about interpersonal communication personal. We want to learn more about each other. We want to communicate with people we wouldn't otherwise communicate with. We want to learn different communication styles, and the best way to do this is to communicate with each other. And since it's online, that's a little hard. So we'll do a weekly discussion board. The first one's actually an introduction discussion board, which has already been posted. It is a little bit of tell me about yourself. We will do a self-concept paper first, then a media analysis, and then your final project. I'm not going to go into details about these because I will send you guys videos as those due dates, or as I open those assignments. Like I said, you will have weekly quizzes and a final exam. Total points for this class is 2,000. So if you are curious about where you are in the class, I have simplified it because all you have to do is essentially take the points that your total possible points, subtract any points you didn't get, and then take a look at the highest possible grade you could get in the class based on the points you've lost. Course policies, I will let you guys read this. I'm not going to read this in depth. We're all adults, but I want to take a look at AI. AI is ever growing. It is something that is going to continue to grow. Sorry. I consider the use of AI in full. So if you say, hey, ChatGPT, write me an assignment based on this rubric, I will give you a 0. The biggest, fattest 0 I've ever given. Because that's not helping you. I can identify it. I've been identifying it quite easily for some time now. And there are actually AI checkers that we can utilize. So I just want you, if you do utilize AI, so to give you a jump start or to help you find a source or to help you with the phonetics or grammar, I need to know when you utilize it. Because if I put it through a AI checker and it gives me 80% AI, that's going to be a big fat 0. We can utilize it to help us, but I don't want it to rob you of the opportunity of actually learning and putting what I'm teaching you to practice. So that's my note on AI. And then of course, plagiarism, big fat 0. That's academic integrity, or that's not integrity, but I'm trying to keep the academic integrity in this class. So if you cheat or plagiarize, you also get a 0. And again, there are plagiarism catchers for the courses like this. And then going into our netiquette, because we communicate with each other, and this is rather intense class for the way that we communicate, and what we're going to be, some of the topics that we talk about, you always want to be considerate, helpful, and aware. And you should avoid, I say shouting, of course, but I mean using all caps or using inflammatory behavior, disrespecting others, being offensive, or being discriminatory. Those will not be tolerated in this class. And I check the discussion boards each week to make sure that we are staying on topic. Okay. So the rest of it, I'm not going to go through with you. I will just say that sometimes things happen and I have to utilize changes to the course, whether that be because of weather or because of sick days or however I have to cancel something from the course. So the coursework can change. Okay. So that being said, I'm going to hit on discussion here. I know, very long video. And this is your first discussion board question of the week, and that is, tell me about yourself. I want to know some good icebreakers. So what's most interesting place you traveled to? A fun fact about you. What made you choose Cape Fear? Take a look at this. If you have other fun facts or other question prompts that you would like to use, absolutely use those. Part of this grade for this discussion is telling us about yourself, but also responding to your classmates. And that's going to always come up in discussion boards. Telling us about yourself or responding to the prompt and responding to others in your class. So that is, yeah. And then when I send announcements, I will send announcements out each week. You'll be able to find them under announcements, but you'll always also, when I start, they will show up right here on your screen. I think I've gone through everything, but if not, you feel free to email me. Welcome to the class again, and I cannot wait to get to know you guys more and teach you more about interpersonal communication.